super hot way to propose to somebody. I call it the walk to remember. It's kind of my move. And it did not work out with my ex-fiance. I hate that I have to say that word now. It sounds like a spell, doesn't it? Just like, ex-fiance! It's terrible. He and I are not friends, not because he's a bad person. He's actually a very good person. I don't know if you've ever dated someone right before they find out they're bipolar, but it is what is known as the Lord's work. I think I was a great partner if nothing went wrong. If nothing went wrong, I was like, awesome. But if one thing went wrong, total nightmare. Like, I was like those spikes you drive over when you're returning a rental car. Like, as long as you keep moving forward, everything's great. But if you back up even a little, I will slash all your tires. And then be like, what? I put up a sign. And you're like, I know I messed up a little, but like this reaction seems like other speed bumps don't react like that. And I'm like, then go be with her! We are not friends, my ex-fiance and I, because I think it's weird when exes try to be friends with each other and they're like, we'll hang out, we'll get froyo. You're like, froyo? I know what you taste like. I'm not gonna sample yogurt with you, you psycho. Do they have Kevin after a run? Do they have that flavor at Yogurtland? They do. It's salted caramel. But still. I went back home after I called off my engagement for whatever holiday doesn't offend you. And a lot of my friends are settling down. Some of them are just settling, period. End of sentence. You guys know those couples? Everyone knows one couple like that, where like one person in the couple is way hotter and cooler than the other person in the couple. I like to call those couples chocolate-covered raisins. Because you're like, sure, you could put those two together if you want. But every time you see them, you're like, chocolate, what are you doing? You could have been with anybody. You could have been with caramel. You could have been with marshmallow. You could have been with peanut butter, who I heard cures depression. And you want to be with raisin forever? Like, no offense, raisin. You're great. We love you. Nature's candy. That's you. But you belong with, like, oatmeal. Like, you know that, right? This doesn't feel good, right? Aren't you scared every day that someone's gonna come along and suck chocolate right off of you? I love this joke, because I like to feel couples in the audience looking at each other like, am I chocolate or raisin? We're both chocolate, right, babe? We're chocolate-covered chocolate. We're like those little Lindorf guys in the foil, you know? I'm the creamy part and you're the shell, because you're so strong, and if you leave me, I'll be a mess. Some of you are like, I am oatmeal and I am good with it. I made the mistake of talking to my happiest married friend. It's about taking your sexual partner back to the scene of the crime. To say, see, the stories are true. Because you don't want your partner to like your parents. You want them to walk out of that night going, oh my God. Your parents are just, I know. I mean, seriously, babe, how did you ever? I don't know. Kind of seems like maybe people should cut me some slack when I'm being a bitch, though, huh? Kind of seems like maybe now that we have all the information, turns out I could be a lot crazier if I wanted. But I keep a lid on it pretty good, and I deserve to stop at Target on the way home. With no time limit. And I want a cart, not a basket. You have to be careful when you introduce people to your parents, though, because your parents don't always show up as your parents, do they? Mine never did. My parents undermined me every single time I brought someone home to meet them. I did everything right. I did the huddle up in the car before we went in, like, hey, remember what I told you? Those people in there, they're not your friends. Whatever they say to you, do not take that personally. It's not about you. It's about them. Do you want to write that on your hand in case you forget? No? You can look at my tattoo if you get scared. Let's do it. And then you go inside prepared for your parents to show their true colors. And your parents float downstairs. And they're just amazing all night. They're like fun, cool, laid back. Your dad's in an open Hawaiian shirt. Just a one-man conga line, topping off drinks, saying all kinds of progressive shit you've never heard him say. You want another beer? We should golf sometime. What are your pronouns again? And you gotta get back in the car later muttering like a conspiracy theorist. Like, well, that was not, and I was there, and I know it happened, and it was all right. And no one can tell me what didn't happen, and I know where it is. While your boyfriend buckles up like, I don't know what you're talking about, babe. Your parents are awesome. And you're like, oh, no, they are not. I don't know who those lizard people were. But they are not the ones who broke me. And the next time you see your parents, they're all smug, like, Jason really seemed to like us. You're like, I know what you're doing. Oh, maybe your therapist wants to meet us next. Get our side of the story. I cannot wait till you're in the ground. All right, well, we'd like to be cremated. I will scatter your ashes where God can't find them. I will see you both at Easter. Smush. Like, those were the three. I do feel for pastors on Christmas and Easter because those are big weeks at church, right? Those are recruitment weeks. That's when everybody comes out of the woodwork. That's when the decaf Christians swing by. You only see those motherfuckers twice a year, and you gotta blow their minds so hard with the extras that they upgrade their subscription to weekly. That's a lot of pressure. And as the pastor on Christmas and Easter, you can't get creative. You can't get weird with it. You can't do an acoustic set. You gotta play the hits. You gotta tell the stories, right? Easter's a better story than Christmas, in my opinion. If you don't know, Easter is the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's where all of our merch is from. You've seen it. You've seen it. Dead guy up there, but tasteful, somehow very tasteful. Makes you think about your own death, like, ooh, hope I die in a way that looks good on jewelry, right? Think about it. When grandma died, were you like, ooh, slap her on an anklet? No, he's really doing it up there. I'll stop doing it. I'll stop doing it. We're all familiar. But Easter's a great story. There's a lot of action, right? It's the crucifixion, the resurrection. It's Jesus in his prime, early 30s, ripped. We betrayed him, we killed him, he's back. It's basically Twilight. It's a sexy, sexy story. I'm kidding. Twilight belongs to the Mormons. Don't take that from them, okay? They can't have caffeine. They need something to wake them up. Christmas is not as good a story. It's just not. The birth of Jesus, it starts off strong, right? An angel comes down from heaven, tells Mary, I know you're a virgin, but you're pregnant with the Son of God. Oh, shit. And then the angel has to go tell her boyfriend, Joseph, because believe women wasn't really a thing back then. So the angel's like, it's God in there, I promise. And then what? Then the angel leaves. Then it's just a long walk to a barn. That's most of Christmas, is just this right here. Jesus is barely in it. He comes in right at the end. He does zero magic. It sucks. Jesus is basically the post-credit scene in a Marvel movie. It's trash. Sucks. I remember one year our pastor tried to spice up the Christmas story. It's whatever I have time for. It is insane to me how easy it is to have and keep a baby. Like, if you get your appendix removed, they won't let you take it home. But if you have a baby, they're just like, here, you drop this. And you know there are days at the hospital, nurses look at each other like, are we gonna let this happen? They both have neck tattoos. One says fuck, one says babies. Either way they stand, it's bad news. Really? This is fine. This is fine with you. What were you gonna name her? Big Red after your truck. Yeah, we gotta do something. If you want to adopt a kid, you have to jump through so many hoops. But if you just have one, they're like, that's yours forever. No questions asked? That's insane. There's no exit interview on the way out of the hospital to make sure you're okay. Just like, hey, before we hand you a baby forever, can you put this metal bowl in the microwave for me? Some of us not clapping, I encourage you to go home and try that. Nobody tell them. I have a friend who has a 7-year-old, and she shouldn't. And she just bought him an iPhone. I'm like, for what? She's like, it's for protection. I'm like, get him a sword. You're a terrible mother. I said, do you punish this little prince? And she goes, yes. As a matter of fact, sometimes I will take away that iPhone for a whole week and make him use a flip phone. Yeah, a flip phone's a punishment now. All over the United States, there are little kids going, no! All I can play is Snake! That is not a punishment. Do you want to hear a real punishment? When I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to walk to school in the morning with my friends because my dad said I'd get abducted. But then anytime I forgot to do a chore, he would make me walk home from school alone, as if to say, you don't want to do your dishes? Well, we don't care if you disappear this week. That's a punishment. That's why I'm up here. But I was trying to understand my friend's parenting style because I don't have kids because I'm responsible. And I said, have you thought about alternative punishments? And she goes, like what? I said, I don't know, chores, grounding, spanking. She's like, oh! I'm like, what, is he behind me? Did he hear? Where is he? You got eyes on him? She's like, I can't believe you suggested I spank my child. I said, whoa. Nobody suggested that. I don't believe in spanking, but I did get spanked. So there's a little bitter part of me for a while that was like, they're not going to have it better than me, that I had to work through in therapy. And I've done that work, and I wasn't sure if you had. It was just a question. Also, why are you acting like I invented spanking? I didn't come in here like, you know what would be good? Like, we both got spanked. What are you talking about? I got spanked growing up. Did you guys get spanked? Yeah. Do you feel fine? I feel fine. 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 If we keep saying it, will we be fine? Maybe. You know, every 3 years, you're like, was I abused? Let's not ruin Christmas. Have you guys realized your parents messed you up yet? Have you found that stray dent in your head? You're like, what happened there? They're like, we did our best. That's what happened there. You were slippery, so. Yeah, this happened as adults. You realize your parents messed you up based on how other people react to stories about your childhood. Stories you thought were fine, because when you're a kid, you're stupid. You're just like, everybody gets tied in the yard. Happy 4th of July. Fast forward 10 years, you're at a work party. Everyone's going around swapping stories like, yeah, my mom was crazy. She used to make us take our shoes off in the house. And you're like, oh my God, I know. We wore muzzles at night. What happened? Why'd everyone get sad? We could wear them on the carpet. It wasn't like her thing. But my friend was very offended, and I felt terrible. And I said, I'm very sorry. And she said, you know what, Taylor? I'm never going to spank my kid. Our parents shouldn't have spanked us either. Spanking is the same as hitting. And I was like, okay, back up. There was a huge difference between what my parents did and hitting. Location, location, location. They never spanked me in the face. There's stuff in my face. People can see that, all right? There was nothing in my butt except justice for my parents. I got spanked so much growing up, I thought that's what your butt was for. I thought God made the first kid and was like, I better add some fat somewhere in case this starts mouthing off at Olive Garden. But if you ever really stop to think about what this must have been like for Mary, and all the women were like, oh, and all the men were like, no. Which one's Mary again? Oh, are you talking about the vessel? You talking about the hole we put the Lord in? You talking about the Jesus jar? You talking about the Christ cubby? You talking about the Savior sack? You talking about the prophet pocket? We could keep going, but we have to move on. But that's a fun game to play to come down from the cousin fight, if you want. That Mary POV sermon went over so well for him that he came out the next year all excited. Like last year we talked about what it must have been like for Mary to find out she was pregnant with Jesus. But have you ever stopped to think about what this must have been like for Joseph? And all the men were like, finally, representation. I also think whores are lying to me. Joseph was Mary's betrothed at the time. Again, I don't assume everybody knows all the Bible stories. You grew up in church, you're like, everybody's learning these. Nope, some kids were having childhoods on their bikes. Yeah. Is there anyone in here who never went to church, has never believed in God, never been religious at all? Wow, all in the back. That checks out. Well, you sound very at peace. You sound so relaxed, but how do you know right from wrong? How do you not kill people? Some Christians talk like that. My dad growing up was like, if I weren't a Christian, I'd be in jail. And I'm like, whoa, I'm 6. Let's do Goodnight Moon tomorrow instead of Dad's Dark Thoughts. Some Christians walk around like, yeah, if Sky Dad didn't have me on house arrest, there'd be some mud on my boots. And you're like, cool, let's only hang out in groups. But if you didn't grow up in church, you might not know a lot of Bible stories. You might not know any Bible stories. I won't put you on the spot, don't worry. I used to learn my lesson. One time I asked someone and they panicked and went, VeggieTales! And I was like, nope, just gonna focus on my career for a little bit. And she's like, well, why can't you focus on a career and a relationship at the same time? And I was like, how do I explain this in a way you might understand? Why can't I focus on a career and a relationship? Have you ever been on the freeway in traffic and your lane stops, but the one next to you keeps moving, so you get in the one that's moving, and as soon as you get the one that's moving, that one stops, and the one next to you starts moving again. So you get back in that first one, because that one's moving now, and as soon as you get back in that first one, that one stops again, and the one next to you starts moving. And after you go back and forth a few more times, at a certain point, you're like, okay, is it fucking me? And she's like, yeah, I don't know if I get it because, John and I, we usually just boop, get in the carpool lane. And I was like, where's your baby? I'm gonna drop it. Therapy gets a lot better when you're single too because you have time to dig into things like that. When you're in a relationship, you waste half of every therapy session going over all the shit your partner won't go to therapy for. When you're single, that's an hour of you every week. It's almost too much time. You really got to start doing your homework on your days off. After my last breakup, I was coming into therapy hot every week with ideas like, hey, you know what I realized this week? The elementary school I went to growing up, across the street from a cemetery. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, I don't know, but that really seems like something, doesn't it? I bring the ingredients, you bake the cake. I'm not a doctor. I went down deep inside me, found something scary, brought it back up to you. I was so brave. Where's my treat? So brave. Favorite client. I really want to find out if I'm my therapist's favorite client. You can't just ask. They won't tell you. I've tried. The only way I can think to figure this out is to get in touch with another one of her clients. And then me and that client plan to call her over the weekend, separately, at the exact same time. Suicidal. And then we just see whose call she takes. We both want to end it. Who you want to keep here, Dr. S? And then whoever wins that face-off, we go to the next set of clients. And we just kind of do brackets, Sort of like a March Sadness situation. Oh, no! Like, that's every cat. I don't want to come home to that energy. But I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was trying to have like a fun, sexy fling, which doesn't usually go great for me because I have this round, wholesome face that people think they should build a life with. Every time I'm like, we could bone or whatever, guys are like, no, I'm all right. But you could meet my mom. Do you want to do that? You seem like you'd be better at meeting my mom than having sex. And they are not wrong, all right? I will meet your mom all night long. Moms like me so much for no reason. I was dating a guy years ago. We were totally on the rocks having problems. And I went to lunch with his mom hoping to get some advice. And halfway through lunch, she puts her hand on my hand and goes, you know, Taylor, my son's a lot like his father. And if I could go back in time, I don't know that I'd marry his father again. And I was like, are you saving my life in this Panera Bread right now? It was like a movie when an older character sacrifices themselves for the good of the journey. Like, she Gandalf'd me. She's like, fly, you fool! She was a bad mom and a bad wife, but such a good friend. Oh my God. Hoes before sons, am I right? I think about her every day. And my boyfriend wasn't looking for a relationship either when we met. Straight dudes usually aren't, you know? Women are surprised when they find a guy who can make them come, and straight dudes are surprised when they find a girl who can make them feel genuine feelings in their heart. Like, women are like, he got me off 3 times, and guys are like, I mean, I just fucking like her, dude. Like... Like, we talked all day. I didn't want to hit her. It was nuts. She's just like my friend. I don't know. I want to like lick her heart, I think. Straight dudes are so proud of themselves for falling in love. It's really cute. They're like, I love you. Hell yeah, buddy. I knew you could get there. Women fall in love. We're like, I love you. Fucking again, you dumb bitch. You were supposed to love you first. You keep skipping that part. It is eat, pray, then love. Oh, God, it's okay. We'll try again in a year and a half. My boyfriend is 7 years older than me because I need to get back at my dad for some stuff. Older guys are just better. They're just better. You never have to ask them to buy Pepto-Bismol. They just have it in the house. They pull it out after dinner like a nightcap. Like, you want some pink juice, baby girl? You're like, yes, they would. Cheers. Older guys don't call you things like cute or hot. They call you things like stunning, gorgeous, shit with syllables. Things that would take a 20-something guy a little while to sound out. And older guys aren't, like, cute or hot either. You know, they're handsome, distinguished, like old pictures of your grandpa you shouldn't look at too long. You ever find one of those in an old dusty box? You're like, who is that? Oh, that's wrong. Okay. They're not your family in those pictures yet. They're just the past. It is a gray area. Oh, I'll get weirder. You ever see a picture of your parents when they were young and hot and you get like weirdly mad because you know they would have never dated you? I saw a picture of my dad in college football once. I didn't talk to him for 3 weeks. I'm like, you would have left me at a drive-in, you Danny Zuko piece of shit. He's like, what? I'm like, I can't hug you for a year and I don't want to talk about it. I'm gonna die, Jesus. I'm kidding. They didn't do it. No, they didn't do the crucifixion on VeggieTales. They wouldn't do that. That's crazy. That's way too dark. Also, no arms. So who's gonna do the finale? What are they gonna do? Put baby carrots on Larry? That's insane. We can't do that. I assume, even if you didn't grow up religious, you know, like, Noah's Ark. Most people know that one. That's our big one. It's on the cover of all of our coloring books. Yeah, it really is a testament to how fucked up the Bible is that we read Noah's Ark and we're like, that's the kid's story. That story is dark as hell. It's about God drowning all his kids because they were being annoying. And we're like, yeah, that should be the mural in the nursery. Come here, little buddy. These are the animals he didn't drown. Oh, what a lucky horsey that got to go on the boat with one friend. It's the rainbow. I think they think the rainbow saves it. God sent Noah, who probably had some trust issues at that point, the rainbow as a promise to never flood the earth again, which I think is the darkest part of the story. Rainbow after a destructive flood. I mean, that's like buying someone a ring after you push them down the stairs. That's crazy. Every time I see a rainbow, I don't think of gay rights. I don't even think of rain. I just think of God going, I mean, I didn't kill everybody. Some people don't even realize Noah's Ark's from the Bible. I've asked people, oh, do you know any Bible stories? They go, not one. I go, what about Noah? They're like, well, I know that one. Like, that's how much Bible stories have, like, infiltrated pop culture. Parents are so nice to their kids now. It's crazy. I mean, parents apologize to their children. Did you know apologies went that direction? Did you know you could drive backwards on the freeway? It's crazy town out there. The closest my parents ever got to apologizing was this. You're okay. You're all right. You're okay was code for don't call anybody. Let's just chalk this up to a whoopsie daisy. I think mistakes were made on both sides. Walk it off. I love you. My friends talk to their children like they're human beings, like they're equals. They get down here at eye level. They make eye contact. I didn't know the color of my father's eyes till I was 22 years old. And that's just because his license fell out of his wallet once. And they're just down here like, hey, buddy, how's the Lunchable treating you? Good? Awesome. Well, if you have any feedback for me, notes, input of any kind, I would love to hear it. You know why? Because it's your childhood. I'm just honored to be a part of it. Anybody recognize any part of that speech? My parents were amazing parents. I love them very much. They did a fantastic job. But they were old school, tough love, no coddling parents, all right? When I was 15, I told my dad, I'm very depressed. I need to see a therapist. I've been thinking about killing myself. And he took a knife out of the knife drawer, shook it over his head, and went, be my guest. And I was like, wow, I don't want you to fix it. I just want you to listen. The best part of that story is I brought it up to him recently, and he just goes, oh yeah, I remember that. I'm like, yeah, me too. Every week in therapy. He's like, hey, I called your bluff though, didn't I? Aha! Look who's not dead, drama queen. I'm like, okay. Touche, big guy, only on the inside. Am I laughing? I've been practicing. There's no healthy fear of your parents anymore. Nobody's scared of their parents. I was terrified of my parents. I never talked back to my mom except for once. She was spanking me in the church parking lot because you got to get rid of those demons before you enter the house of the Lord. So she's cleansing her soul, a little pre-communion. And halfway through, I go, that didn't hurt. And she went black in the eyes. And in a voice I'd never heard, goes, oh, well then we're gonna have to make it hurt. And for the rest of my childhood, wooden spoon. She went Martha Stewart on my ass. I still cannot watch the Food Network. Great British Bake Off doesn't calm me down. But I never talk back again. You try to spank a kid now, they'll laugh in your face. They'll be bent over on the iPhone you pay for, looking up reasons why you're a dickhead. Just think, really? You're gonna go through with this even though psychology today says that you're undermining my well-being long term? All right, Eileen, you stupid bitch. You do what you gotta do. I'll be down here playing Angry Birds and Googling how you live with yourself. By the time I have kids, they're going to be monsters. Just like, how dare you address me directly? Avert your eyes. And get out your boob, I'm hungry. The big one. I'm like, ugh, who gave you an accent? I had amazing parents. I have to keep saying that in case anyone here knows them. Anyone can come to these. I've been working on anxiety in therapy. That's been my main focus for the last few years. Anybody have anxiety? Does anybody struggle with panic attacks? Has anyone ever gone to the emergency room for anxiety or panic attacks? Oh, a few of us. Look at that. What do we think was happening? Heart attack? Yeah. And then you get there and they're like, oh, it's actually your mind that's attacking you. Yeah. I'll make you feel better. I went to the emergency room once because I fell asleep in AirPods, woke up, couldn't find one, thought I swallowed it. You meant you drove halfway there and it turned around because it was silly? Nope, went the whole way. Got seen. I wish I could pretend this story happened a really long time ago, but the technology involved makes that impossible. So I've always had a lot of trouble sleeping my entire life. And before AirPods came out, I would fall asleep in regular headphones, listening to a podcast or a movie, something to calm me down. And before AirPods came out, headphones had cords on them. So if you swallowed one of those, you just pull it out like a magician's scarf. No big deal. But then they came out with AirPods, so I started falling asleep in those. And so a few years ago, doesn't matter how many, I fell asleep in 2 AirPods, woke up in 1 AirPod, and was like, well, obviously I swallowed it. Like a baby or a dog. Convinced my sister to take me to the emergency room, ruining Christmas morning for everyone. So we get to the emergency room in our hometown where I have to tell 3 grown women at the front desk what I'm doing there. I'm like, well, you probably get this all the time. But it would seem that I may have, inadvertently, in my sleepy sleeps, swallowed an AirPod? And they were like, an AirPod, sweetie, those are pretty big, right? Those are big. You really think you could have swallowed an air? I said, how about we don't have a team discussion about what I can and can't swallow, okay? And they're like, wow, someone was ugly in middle school. We'll take you back. So they take me back. We're waiting for a doctor, which, by the way, I don't know what I thought a doctor was going to do if I had, in fact, swallowed an AirPod. They're not going to perform surgery. They're going to go, oh, my God, yeah, it's in there. Well, stop at Taco Bell on the way home. Good luck. Taco Bell, good for every occasion. I don't know what I thought the AirPod was going to do to me damage-wise in there. I'm like, what if it's still charged? What if it electrocutes my intestines or starts playing Glee covers and everyone can hear? My sister's like, you deleted them all. I'm like, no, all of them. Some of them are bangers. Before a doctor can come in to see us, my other sister calls us from home and goes, hey, yeah, we found it in the pillowcase. Does Crazy want to come home and have pancakes now? I'm so embarrassed. I want to sneak out the back as quickly as possible. I'm like, let's just go. Let's just leave. And my sister's like, you can't just disappear. They're going to think something bad happened. I was like, something bad did happen. Let's go. She's like, that's an emergency exit. I'm like, it's an emergency room. It's probably a regular exit. Let's leave. But here's my problem with the emergency room. When you are having an anxiety or panic attack, it is your only option, which is why I think they need to open a second option right next door called the anxiety room. All right? So you have the ER and the AR. And the ER is where you go when you've been shot, stabbed, you are actively bleeding. That's where you go. You fill out all that complicated paperwork because that seems like the time to do it. And then the AR is where you go when you're like, I don't know where the bad is, but it's in me somewhere. It's either cancer or the devil, but I have to get it out. And that is just one fill-in-the-blank form that says, I know that it is probably fine, but... my bones feel itchy. I don't know! I just need someone in a white coat to tell me I'm stupid. I know I mentioned during... I love my parents. I think if you expect your parents to be perfect, you're immature, okay? Parents aren't just like these magical, perfect beings. They're just people who suck like the rest of us. That's how we should introduce them. Just like, these are my people, Rhonda and Tim. They do what they can. My dad was very overprotective. He had 4 daughters, which means he was just like playing dick goalie. And You don't have to laugh. He hates that joke too. His biggest fear was that one of us would become sexually active before we got married, and some of us have been activated. So that's... Can't take this back to Best Buy. I spilled some stuff on it. On it, in it. The keys don't work. It's over. So... I would hate to be the father of 4 daughters. It seems very stressful. My younger sister's in college. She had lingerie delivered to my parents' house once because she's an idiot with an Amazon Prime account. And my dad opened the box because he's a middle-aged man who pays a mortgage. And if a box comes to his house... That's his box. He didn't talk to anybody about it. He just opened the box, freaked out, and then hid it behind a plant in his room. That was his solution, just like, oh. Well, she can't have sex without her underwear. I really respect my dad a lot. You know why? He was never a hypocrite. He was just as strict with himself as he always was with us. Like, we found porn on my dad's computer once, and it was like the porn of a good man. Like, I think he Googled missionary. Like, I don't even think he was looking for porn. I think he was trying to become a missionary, and he just got lost. The internet just duped him. He's like, that's not my wife. Why is she naked? I'm the only person who's ever found porn on their dad's computer and gained respect for him. It wasn't even porn. It was just a pop-up. And I know that sounds naive to say, but my dad doesn't watch porn. He won't even watch sex scenes in movies and TV shows. One came on in a theater once, and he marched out like it was a protest. He came back 40 minutes later. I was like, wow, remind me to high-five mom. I'm like, where were you? You missed half the movie. He's like, well, we're not at home. You can't fast forward. I was like, you fast forward through sex scenes in your own house? He's like, damn straight. God is everywhere. And I said, bless your heart, you deserve to see some boobs that you're not married to every once in a while. So I bought him Game of Thrones on DVD. I said, you can't fast forward. They're talking while they're naked. It's important. I'm so glad I was raised by my dad. I mean, I think I'm so much like him. He's made me the person I am. He's the reason I do stand-up. I don't watch porn, not because I'm against it. I just never got into it, you know? In the same way some adults didn't read Harry Potter, you missed your letter to Hogwarts. I have a friend, hates it. She's like, I hate pornography, Taylor. She calls it pornography, like a loser. And I said, why is that? And she goes, because it sets unrealistic expectations for men and women. It's so unrealistic. I'm like, have you seen porn? It's like very realistic. Like they are fucking. Like what? I think you saw Star Wars. And she goes, no, Taylor, it's unrealistic because those women aren't even finishing, okay? They're faking it. And I was like, yeah, it's super realistic. Isn't that what we're all doing? Fake it till you make it. Back to your place to finish yourself off. Am I right? That's a joke. I've never faked it. I've never loved someone that much. Yeah. I don't hand out trophies for showing up. Grab an orange slice and a Gatorade. Get back down there. Let's see some hustle, Anderson. You guys were absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I have a friend who said they knew Prodigal Son. And I go, oh, you know the story? And they're like, oh, no, I just think there was like a show or something. I've heard the term, right? If you don't know the story of the Prodigal Son, it's a story that Jesus teaches, it tells in the Bible to teach a lesson, right? So in the story, there's a rich dad, and he's got 2 sons. And the older son does everything right, because he's the oldest. And the younger son is like, I want my money now. And the dad's like, okay, that's not how inheritance works. I'm fully alive, but here you go. So he gives the younger son his money. Then this piece of shit fucks right off. Did I mention I'm the oldest of 4? This piece of shit fucks right off, And how do they put it? Squanders his wealth on wild living, which is Bible for blows it all on Bitcoin and lap dances. He then has the audacity to come back years later, like, sorry, Dad, I lost all your money. I suck. Can I come back? And the older son was probably like, yeah, finally, finish him. And the dad goes, my baby's home. Oh my God, let's throw him a big party. I know all the oldest kids in here. We all have diarrhea right now. I know every oldest kid in here. Your asshole went all the way inside your body. You're so upset. Just remember, these are people from the Bible. They can't hurt you. They've been dead a long time, okay? We're almost done. So the older son is obviously pissed. He's like, Dad, what? I've done everything right my whole life, and you've never even thrown me a small party. Look it up. He says that. And the dad is like, yeah, you're great. Love you. But your brother, he was lost, and now he's found. So we celebrate. And if you ask a pastor what that story is about, they will tell you that it's about how you can go off and live in sin and lose your way spiritually, but you can always return to the Lord and he'll forgive you. And if you ask me what that story is about, I will tell you that it is about how Jesus was an only child. In that joke that I have trouble sleeping, DC, please, for the love of God, do not DM me articles after this show. I know you mean well, but I promise you I've read every sleep article out there. 3 ways how to sleep better. It is the same recycled tips over and over and over. Get a light lavender mist to spray on the cold side of your pillow at twilight. What am I, a witch? Make sure it's really dark and quiet in your room at night.
Oh my God, it's supposed to be dark? I'm such a dumb bitch. I've been sleeping under a disco ball because vibes. I didn't know. Okay, dark, quiet, check. Fixed!
Why not leave your cell phone in a different room at night? Why don't you put your baby outside? This is not to say that I'm against sleep advice. I'm just jaded, you know? I think I feel the way about sleep tips the way a lot of men feel about porn, where I'm like, no, I've seen all the basic stuff. Send me something weird. Now I'm going to ask this question, and let me preface this by saying it's totally okay if nobody has an answer. I ask every audience every night. It's nothing weird. If you think that you have a weird sleep tip that I've never heard of. I've read every article, I've listened to every podcast, I've seen a lot of TikToks. I ask this question to every audience every night of this tour. If you think you have a weird sleep tip that I have never ever heard of, I would love for you to raise your hand and tell me what that is. That being said, if anybody raises their hand and goes, have you tried the Calm meditation app? I will have you removed. It's okay if no one has one. Does anyone have a weird sleep tip? Oh, we got a confident one right here. What have you got? Masturbate? Bitch, please. You think I haven't tried masturbating? I don't go to sleep, I come to sleep. Next. All right. What else we got? Thanks for playing. All right, what have you got? There's 2 things. Oh. And I do them in order. Okay. I have to do a handstand against the wall? Okay, yoga. No. This sounds like I need to be hotter for this. I can't. All right. I just want to hear the end. So you do a handstand against the wall. Yeah. Just for a couple seconds. Okay. Yeah, just easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. This is how hot people talk. They're like, just do a handstand for 10 seconds. This is no big deal. You're like, some of us are top heavy. All right. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. And then you sleep upside down. Okay, I haven't heard the handstand part, but I have heard sleep upside down because it changes the bed. Yeah. It confuses your body. Yeah, confuse yourself to sleep. Okay, that's one. I've half heard that one. Okay, so, we'll half give it to you. Anybody else think they have a weird one? Like, really weird? It's okay if nobody does. I'm just curious. Okay, who said woo? All right, do it. What do you got?
Listen to him talk.
Listen to who?
This guy.
Listen to the guy you're with talk?
Are you trying to get left? Or are you trying to offload your partner right now? Like, this one's available if he just talks and talks and talks. You fall asleep eventually. This bit right here. Wow, okay. That was fun. We all stepped in a divorce. Wasn't that a good time? That's the first time that's happened when I asked that question. Every night of the tour, never gotten one of those. I can take this boring piece of shit home. All right, this is the last one. What do you got?
Listen to someone's random phone call in the other room. I've listened to my mom have a conversation with my grandma.
You eavesdrop on somebody's phone conversation from the other room. You've listened to your mom talk to your grandma. Did you miss the whole part where I said, I am alone? At least the last girl offered me someone. Have you tried falling asleep to the sound of people who love you in the other room? I would that I could. Okay, well, those hurt my feelings. I'm going to tell you the best one I've heard on this tour. The best one I heard on this tour was a few months ago. There was a woman in the front row. She raised her hand. She goes, I have a weird sleep tip. I said, what do you got? She goes, when I can't sleep, I lay on the floor in the kitchen for 10 minutes. And I was like, okay. And then what happens? She goes, then I get back in bed, I go sleep. This poor girl, abusive parents herself. She's like, oh, you can't. For work. He and I have very similar jobs. We're both out here on the weekends, changing lives. No, he hates it when I say that. He hates it so much. I'm always trying to talk shop with him. I'm like, hey, Jim, how was your early show? He's like, it's first service, Taylor. I'm like, well, I just noticed you had a heckler on the late one. He goes, that person was yelling amen and hallelujah to agree. I'm like, that's the worst kind of heckler, Jim, because they're being supportive, but they're still disrupting your flow, right? I go, I donate 10% of what I make, too. He's like, to who? I'm like, my agent, but it's still a tithe. I'm like, I'm kidding, Jim. I know we don't do the same thing. But think about this. I make them feel guilty Saturday night. You save their ass Sunday morning. I set them up. You spike the ball. You're welcome. I helped. But my Uncle Jim's like a great pastor. He's like very progressive. He gives really interesting sermons. We didn't have a cool pastor like my Uncle Jim growing up. I'd like to have kids too, which is a shame because I'm so talented. And you understand. I don't know what happened. A few years ago, I was like, yeah, I'll get to kids. And now it's like every day I wake up and my brain goes, you have goals. And my body's like, I'm empty, like all the time. I saw a baby in a fedora last week, and I was like, I need to make something and put a hat on it right now. It came from somewhere inside me I didn't know existed. I felt like a young boy who'd just seen porn for the first time. Just like, what's happening to my body? I have to go home forever. I do still get annoyed with other people's kids, which I think will keep me empty a little bit longer. Like, my biggest pet peeve are those babies that wave at you from strollers. Have you seen these babies? They're strangers to you, but they wave like you owe them money or something. And it's like, hi, don't engage. It's a trap. The same thing happens every time. Hi. 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 Hi, sweetie. How are you? You know why they laugh? Because they just wasted your time. They know one word. It's not a conversation. That's a dead end. That would be like me walking up to a French person like bonjour. They get excited, start talking to me in French, and I just go, ha ha. Then a bigger person wheels me away in a carriage. Au revoir, asshole. You thought you made a friend, baguette. I do want to have kids, but I want to make sure before I have them that I have made enough mistakes so that I give great advice as a parent. You have to make mistakes, learn from them, and then you give amazing advice. My dad read his Bible every night. He got a scholarship to college. He married my mom, and then he had us. His advice was terrible. He'd be like, don't do that. And we're like, why? And he's like, I don't know, kid. I read it in a book. I've never really lived.
Joel Osteen pose. My uncle was a drug-dealing alcoholic who got shot in the 90s. I listen to everything that man says. Because he can back it up. He's like, don't do that. Why? Because Uncle Larry P's sitting down now. Go play. I just don't want to be one of these people that has kids too soon before I think about what it's going to be like. Like, my biggest fear is the technology thing. Like, my kids are always going to have the internet. And don't get me wrong, I'm young. I had the internet pretty early. I got the internet just as I was going through puberty, which was awesome. I had a magic box I could hop on and be like, is this hairnormal.com, upload picture? And then someone from Arkansas is like, you're probably fine. And I'm like, cool, I'm getting back on my bike. Like, I don't know what people did during puberty before the internet, just like read Judy Blume until they started tingling. Like, what happened? Can you imagine going through puberty in the 1300s? Back then you were alone. Something weird was happening downstairs. You're like, that's a little strange. Hope I'm not a witch. I can't go swimming. My daughter will always have the internet. From the time that she is born to the time she dies, she's always going to have it. And I have to explain to her that the internet is the most beautiful, amazing, disgusting, horrifying thing in the universe. How do you do that in a balanced, measured way? Just like, hey, sweetie, have so much fun on the internet, talk to your friends, do your homework, but be careful, because a lot of people in there want to kill you. Everyone on the internet wants to kill me. No, not everybody. Some of them are just nice kids from Arkansas who want to let you know your pubic hair is A-okay. But yeah, some of them want to wear you like a skin jacket. So just please look out for mommy, okay? But you met daddy on the internet. That's different. I met your daddy on a dating app. He sent me a very thoughtful emoji. And just really saw me for me. But how did you know daddy wasn't a bad internet person who wanted to kill you? Look, you little bitch, I didn't, okay? I didn't, but mommy was going through a dry spell. Your daddy had nice shoulders, so I took a fucking chance. Tale as old as time.